Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Cassie here, and today we have a design video in store for you. Alright, so the idea, I prepared a little deck as well because it's easier to explain like this. These are the things we're going to be going through. Number 1, an annoying thing. Number 2, the idea. Number 3, problem space. And number 4, the design process. So number 1, an annoying thing. This idea came to me in my own frustrations, and that's usually how passion projects are born, and the reason why I design things is because I think of something that could be done better. And I eat out a lot. It's such an important way to socialize with friends. I'm sure a lot of people around my age do that, you know, it's very common. But the one thing I noticed is, you know, when I'm using these food apps, there's something missing about them that I was frustrated with, and that was the menu. Like, the first thing I do, at least for me, when I'm going out to eat with my friends or I'm going on a date with my boyfriend and I'm looking for a place to eat, when I'm looking on Yelp or Google or Zomato, the first thing I'm looking at is where is the menu, and then the second thing is what does the food look like. I'm not sure if that's the same for everyone, but that is for me. And so oftentimes I will find myself looking at a really crappy menu, one that is just not all that great. So that leads me into my problem space. When I'm using these apps, these are areas that I see could use some improvement. This is me quoting myself. That looks delicious, but which item on the menu is it? Let's first talk about the first part that bothers me, the menu, okay? So often taken with a cell phone, it is blurry, you can't see the menu items clearly, or it's outdated. And then another common occurrence is when you actually click into these pictures or you click on a link to go to a menu, the website or the menu is not optimized for different devices, so you have to do that old school thing where you like zoom in and like there's scroll bars that show up. I don't know, it's just not a great experience. Why is it still done this way? So the second thing I usually look at is the pictures, because I want to see how the food looks like, if it looks appetizing. Usually when I look at a picture, I'll have a good idea as to like whether I'd like that dish or not, just by looking at the way it's cooked. So there's so many pictures, you know. Yelp is used by so many different people. You have so many people contributing to the app, which is great, but that means there's a bunch of pictures. And the problem I have with the pictures is the captions don't always tell you which item on the food it correlates with. So you might see like a really great picture of this really delicious looking dish, but I have no idea which item it is on that menu. And the third thing is the reviews. I don't know about you guys, but I rarely read the reviews just because some of them are really, really long. And the review will not only talk about the food, but also about the ambiance of the restaurant, the experience of the restaurant, how is like lining up, how is like blah blah blah, which is important, but it's not really the part I'm looking for. I'm more interested in the food and whether the food is good or not. I just don't really like reading. I kind of just like visuals. I get straight to the point. I don't want to read this whole thing, especially if you're looking for a review on a specific dish. That's kind of hard to find unless you use the search option, but that's just too much work for me. I'm lazy like that. That leads me to my idea. The idea is that the app itself will be built with a standardized menu. Kind of think of it like food delivery apps where each restaurant has like a menu you can actually see. And so we're gonna standardize the menu. The difference between my app and a food delivery app is that the app I have is more geared towards reviewing the food itself. Not about the entire restaurant experience, not about what kind of facilities they have, although it would be nice to also share that, but more specifically on the food items and real people pictures of the food items themselves. Imagine a app that you're able to search for like nearby restaurants and stuff, and when you first open up the restaurant, you'll get the full menu, and then you see all the different menu items. Maybe you can see which ones are trending and most popular, and when you click on the menu item, you'll get linked to a bunch of reviews that are based on that specific menu item. So we're really trying to put the focus more on the food itself and keeping it really simple, very straightforward, and that's it. And the great thing about this is, you know, it really is marketed towards both consumers and restaurant owners, because if you are a consumer, obviously you're going to be able to get the best real life reviews of people around you, seeing real pictures of how the dishes look like, etc., which in general is just great. But it's also really great for business owners, because as a business owner, instead of having to like make the menu on your website, you can really just use this app and have your menu on this website available at all times. And if you ever need to update a menu item, it's super easy for you to just log onto this app and just change the menu items yourself. And I'm thinking right now that everything is a standardized menu, but I could see this app going in the future where you can upgrade it to different levels. So you might get like a more specialized menu, or you can change some of the colorings to your menus to fit the branding of your restaurant. Like little itty bitty things like that can really customize the menu without making it look too different and hard to read. I think it could really be promoted in a way to just market restaurants better. Anyways, I'm not gonna go too much into that because I obviously haven't done enough research yet, but it's just a general gist and like a general idea. Now I'm gonna go through my entire design process. Just to make this clear right now, this app idea is just something I randomly thought of. I don't know if it's the best idea, so please don't judge me if you think this is like a really stupid idea. But for me personally, I just feel like, oh, if this kind of app existed, it would just make my life so much easier when I'm looking for places to eat, and I would really like to use a service like this. So that's just like a blue sky kind of idea. My design process is going to include certain parts to it that might not necessarily matter too much. For example, the beginning half where I'm doing a lot of research and like interviewing people, stuff like that. That is stuff you usually would do if you're working for a company. But if you're making a passion project like mine, where it's just like a random idea you had, then those things aren't as important and as valid in terms of the creation of this app. Because even if people say, no, this is not the best idea, I'm probably still gonna make it anyways, just for fun. All right, so step one is I'm gonna create an online survey. I'm going to create questions about, you know, how people use food apps and what are some pain points they've noticed, or like what's something they've always wanted but never had, like random questions like that. Step two, I think it's just to do interviews with friends. Ignore that, that was like the template text. The second one is to interview people. Just like ask your friends, ask your family, just to get some real life insight. And then number three is, once I've gathered the data from people I've been asking and surveying, I would create 3 personas. These personas will help me guide the direction of the way I create this app and who it's created for. Step 4, I'm going to summarize the user statements. Step 5, I'm going to do a Swissy Duxo analysis, essentially a SWOT analysis, but a little bit more refined. And it stands for strengths, weaknesses, content, design, UX, and opportunities. And then number 6 is to gather images of existing apps, just so I can see how it looks like, what other people are doing in terms of the interface. Number 7, feature jamming. This is where I create like a big mind map of all these different features and ideas I could possibly put into this app. And it in no way means I'm going to use all of these features, but it's just a good idea to like get your brain going and start thinking about what it could be. Number 8, a user journey map. Number 9, branding, working on a mood board. Number 10, a style tile. And then number 11 is when I start site mapping. Number 12, I go into the wireframing and lo-fi prototypes. So these are going to be really hand-drawn, really raw. And number 13, user testing with my lo-fi prototype, just to see if it works, if people get stuck anywhere. Probably going to test it on my sister and my friends. And then number 14, mock-ups. This will go in multiple rounds because, you know, mock-ups iterations can take quite a while. So this is just going to do a lot of back and forth. The final step is number 15, which is the hi-fi clickable prototype on my mobile phone. So the idea is by the end of this, I should have an app that I can click through on my phone and it'll seem like it's real, even though it's not real. But that is pretty much the idea. You guys now know the app that I want to design. Thank you guys for watching. If you are super excited about this entire UI UX process I'm going to be sharing with you guys, and you're going to be following along with me on it, then make sure you hit that like button to show your support for me. So subscribe to this channel, of course, and hit the bell if you want to make sure you always get updates on these new design videos I'm pumping out. I also want to put that sharing my design stuff like this is kind of scary and a little bit, I don't know, it's just scary. So please be nice to me. Don't be savages and totally trash on everything I make, because, you know, as a designer, I am constantly learning. There's still so much stuff that I don't know yet that I'm trying to learn right now, and this is just part of the process. Yeah, so let's all just be nice to each other. I hope you guys find these videos to be very interesting, and that you learn something from them. That's pretty much it. Okay, bye guys. I'll see you guys in my next video.